Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are from, whoever you are, wherever you live. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. This is the What Are We Doing Here podcast. Perchy, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, mate? Hello, good evening.
What are we doing here? Well, it feels like we are the most consistently inconsistent football team that we're going to a European Cup final whilst we can't win for toffee in the league. It's weird, mate. What is going on?
It is funny, isn't it? And listen, I'm going to start as I mean to go on tonight. I'll be honest, I've just got to listen. I've been doing YouTube for a number of years now, and you know how the game works. I've just got to that stage where I'm a bit bored of being told that I'm wrong. I'll be honest. And what I mean by that, Perchy, is I think I'm really consistent with everything I say in WhatsApp groups or online. I don't feel like I'm somebody that changes my mind to get views. You know, those YouTubers who 1 week it's how Matisse Tell fixes us. The next week is this Spurs' worst transfer window ever, you know, all in the space of about 14 days. It's not me. I won't do it. I'll just tell you what I think. And if people don't like it, they don't like it. So I'm going to start tonight, Perchy, with I've got this guy that not like a suit guy or anything like that. I've got this guy that when I wake up every morning, I know, you know, when you know you're going to have a message for someone in your YouTube comment, right? So, and as you know, they used to really bother me. I'd wake up and say, oh, Savva, you're a CUNT. And I used to be like, why are they so mean? Now I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, right? This guy doesn't quite do that. But he is somebody that will not accept reality. Now, it feels like a lot of the Anjin fans will not accept facts. Now, I don't know about you, but facts are facts. And I'm gonna bring this up. I'm just going to show you because this is the sort of message I get from him. So for anyone that didn't see, earlier on, I put out a video and it was called Facts, Evidence, and proving that Ange is a Ange is a contradictory waffler, which is a very difficult thing to say. This was his response. I'm going to put any stupid responses from now on. I am whacking up and showing the world. I am showing the world. Are you ready, Perchy?
Let's go for it.
This is it. So Bailey Jones, who goes by, I think, Notorious PIG when it comes up in YouTube.
Okay.
Absolutely lazy analysis. And I'll show you all in a minute what the analysis was. Absolute lazy analysis. You are literally pointing out the most basic stats, yes, and passing them off as if you know what you were talking about. Yes, because they're stats and facts. You are completely disregarding the context behind those stats. There is no context. There's 19 months. We've been crap. You probably Googled some random stats from the season without looking into the different variables. I love this. I'm going to come back to this in 1 second. Perchy, what I love about this, I'm a Spurs YouTuber who is live every day, and these people go, but you don't understand the variables. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand anything that's happening at Tottenham Hotspur. He said, context matters. Sure, context does matter when you're losing 20 games in a season. You're correct. Spouting out, I love this, spouting out surface level stats doesn't mean you know what you were talking about. Archie, in a minute, I'm going to show you what the surface level stats are. It's a narrative over nuanced perspective. I mean, cool. It doesn't make you sound clever, right? Nuanced perspective. The truth is in the nuance. That word again. I love this. But you don't want to hear that because it contradicts your stats. Perchy, they're not my stats. They're the stats. But as this point, trying to reason and convince any Ange outer is a pointless exercise because they don't listen. Perchy, would you like to see what the stats were that apparently I've twisted for my own narrative?
You can. The first thing I want to read on that is it said at the top he edited it, and I saw 4 spelling mistakes in there. I mean, he's read it over. It's mad. But anyway, yes, I want to see this. I'm intrigued.
Right. So, and by the way, this is the norm. By the way, it's not just this guy. The number of messages I get a day, I kid you not, I get about 500 messages a day on YouTube. It is mental, right? And half of them are saying, yeah, Savvy, you're right, blah, blah, blah. The other half are, you're not a real fan, blah, blah, blah. You don't understand the context, injuries, when they've not bothered to actually look into the injury data. So this is what I was showing them, right? I showed them this. I showed them that we've had a 55.5% loss rate.
Yeah,
that there's no context to that. That's a fact, right? 55%. I showed them that our win rate this season is 30%. I showed them that we've got 4 league wins in 21 games. Again, Perchy, not my stat, the stat, right?
Yeah.
1 win in 10. There's no nuance. We've won 1 game in 10. 28 points from 90. Apparently, I've made it up. Bottom of the form table. 9 home defeats. These are all facts, by the way. 6 home wins out of 18 home games. We've won 1/3 of our home games. 20 league defeats. 5 wins in our last 25 league games. If that's not enough, as I said to people earlier today, let's have a look at this, Perchy. And then I'm going to let you go. I showed this. This here shows you every league season since Spurs were relegated, right? So we came back in the 77-78 season. We were promoted back to Division 1, what it was then. If you look at these stats here, there's a lot of numbers there, but it shows you that Ange is bottom for nearly every metric, mate, other than goals scored. He's got the lowest number of wins, right? He's got the highest number of defeats. He's got the lowest number of points and the lowest league position. And if that's not enough, and this is the very, very last one, it's not the last one. Spurs with a 1.06 points per game average. And if that's not enough, this is every game at Spurs. If you can see the points per game tally, which is right. This is every game since Spurs first lost under Ange. So you can see there, game 11 to game 74. So what's that? 64 games. In those 64 games, right, the points per game has gone down from 2.36. You can see it every game on game, worse and worse and worse and worse. And in that time, in 64 games, we've lost 32 league games, Perchy. But apparently, I've missed some context and nuance.
Oh, it's phenomenal, by the way. How, it's almost like it's become this cultish-like behavior where there is no one. I've got no problems with people that want to back the manager. Fine, if you want to go down that route, but you can't just pretend that this stuff isn't true. Like this isn't. I hate the term "your facts," but it's not, because facts are facts. Like, you can't have your facts. There's no such thing. That's like me saying my sky is blue. No. The sky is blue. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't say, oh, like, it doesn't work like that. Like, it's incredible. Like, the facts are this manager is seriously underachieving, and whatever people don't like to hear about this, and this is the truth, this manager is loved at the moment because he beat AZ Alkmaar, Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt on the road to a European final. That is the nuance that everyone, when that man like swallowed a dictionary whilst trying to make himself sound a little bit clever by going on the thesaurus website to make sure his words look a little better. The problem we have here is, this, as I said, this is all about a cup run. And do you know what's the annoying thing about this? Is the way people are talking. This does annoy me. All I keep hearing is when he wins the Europa League. Hang on, like we've just got to walk in there and beat Man United in a cup final. Like, this is the bit that annoys me. Look, listen, we could win. I stand by. I think we will win the Europa League. But what happens with these people if we don't win it? What happens if we don't? Because this manager lives and dies on 90 minutes of football. But I feel like some of us can sit back and think and be a little bit more contextualized on the whole season and judge. I can judge the football on a whole season, because I can't be as, I don't know what the right word is simple is probably the right word of saying.
I agree.
If we beat Man United, this manager's great. If we lose, he's shit. It doesn't work like that. Like, we've got to a stage where losing has just become a normality at this point now. Losing has become a normality. It's worrying. Like, we lose so many games of football. Do you know what's scary? I was going to say, okay, do you know what's scary? Do you know how many teams have done the double on us this season?
Oh, mate, I've seen it all. It's frightening.
6 teams have done the double on us. That's 12 games of football.
Do you know what's even more worrying, Perchy, right? And this is I've just started this. Big up my man, Chris Checkett. Big up, bro. We have won 5 in 25, which is the stat I gave you. Have a look at who we beat. So that is the team that are bottom twice, right?
Yeah.
Ipswich Town, who are 18th once. Yep. Man United, who are 16th once. And then we managed to beat Brentford, who are 8th, right? So in all of that time, in the 25 games, right? In the 25 games, we have beaten the bottom team. We've beaten three teams in the relegation zone. Like, and this isn't even
16th. Like, and one of the mid-table side in Brentford, who I expect us to be beating. It is terrifying. Like, but do you know what's even worse, right? I think the biggest part about it is what's really bad about it is it's so normalized and accepted at this point where we are that bad that I watch us and go, we don't even look like we can kick a ball 5 yards. Like, it's weird. Like these are international football players. Some of these have won major honors at international level.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, Ange hasn't managed to beat got a point against Wolverhampton Wanderers since being our manager. Or sorry, has he got 1 point? He got a draw. Sorry.
Would you like to see it? Would you like to see it?
You've got some stat. That's it. Yeah, 1 point.
This is his tenure. This is his tenure. Have a look how many teams there he has played 4 times. Have a look down there. Brighton 3 times, 3 points. Liverpool 4 games, 3 points. Leicester City 2 games, 1 point. Wolves 4 games against Wolves, 1 point.
Mad.
4 games against Fulham, 4 points. Look how bad this is. And I'm told that this is, Savva, you don't understand context and nuance. 20 games. He's lost 20 games.
Everything is bad. And do you know the bit that really bothers me? I'm starting to get annoyed. If I hear it anymore, is it, oh, well, the league doesn't matter. Well, hang on a minute. This isn't something that's happened because we got to a European Cup final. This has been happening for the last, 20 months. This isn't this analogy that, oh, well, all of a sudden the league doesn't matter. Sure, right now I couldn't care less anymore. Like, I couldn't care less. Finished 17th, great. Couldn't give a crap anymore. But do you know what's more worrying? The players that are being picked right now, it's almost like they know that they're not going to get a chance in the cup final.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, was fine. If you're going to rotate them, you want to expect that your Kevin Danzos, your Ben Davises are going to put in effort and play to their best ability. Because do you know what? They might be able to get into the final, play in the final. Like, if Ben Davies has 4 games in the league all of a sudden and he's been the best player on the pitch, he might get a nod. But it's almost like the manager knows what 11's going to be played against Man United. And the rest of them have gone, we're on holiday now. We don't care. We're not going to play in the final. We're only going to get in there if someone gets injured. Like, it's almost at a stage where players kind of don't care anymore. And I think that's the worrying thing, because I hear all the time. Do you know what the worrying thing is I try and use this and contextualize it into normal life. You know, when you hear all the time where it's, oh, well, they should play for the badge. They should care about this.
Yeah.
Newsflash, these football players do not care about you or the football club. They are paid employees. That's like me going into my job going, I play for the company. I play for my work. No, I work to get a paycheck at the end of the month. That's what I do my job for. That's what, unfortunately, these football players do. But it goes to another level. If I work for a manager who is terrible, has no idea what they're doing, you go, this bloke is clueless in charge of us. Why should I work my absolute nuts off for this guy when he doesn't know what he's doing? And that's where these football players are at the moment. You're not shocked why a lot of them are wanting to leave at the moment. There's not a shock by that.
But do you know what's even worse is, you know what? It's like when I hear people say, right, okay, yeah, leave you out. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to leave you out. But leave you out. Great. Ange out. Okay. But then we've got a huge section of this fan base that normalize losing. We've normalized it. Like, in all the time I've been supporting Tottenham, I've never known a season where we lose just so regularly and it gets swept under the carpet so much. Like, every game we've lost this season, like, let's do this in two halves. In the first half of the season, do you remember that the excuse in the first half was, but we're only losing by one and the performance is much better, right? Now in the second half of the season, the games we're losing, it's, but they don't matter. It's only the Europa League. Which football club talks like this about losing games week in, week out? I'll give you a clue. None of them, right?
Do you know what's funny?
Losing games.
Yeah.
Wolves were losing games, sacked O'Neill. Everton were losing games, hand over fist, sacked Sean Dyche, right? West Ham were losing games, hand over fist, sacked Lopetegui, right? Lopetegui. I always say Lopetegui. Lopetegui. Spurs, don't worry. Defeat. And the fans are going, don't worry. You lot are ungrateful. Oh, but it's not his fault. Why? Why is it not his fault?
Do you know what's crazy? This is a crazy stat.
How small squad?
How he's committed and focused on the cup with us. We've got a massive
squad.
Can we stop this absolute nonsense that we've got a small squad? We've got an enormous squad compared to every team around us. What are you on about? Oh, it's nonsense. Here we go. From 13th down, how many clubs have sacked their manager? No, so have not sacked their manager, sorry.
One.
Two.
Tottenham. Oh, who
Tottenham
else?
and Ipswich.
Tottenham, fair. And I wouldn't expect McKenna to get sacked.
Ipswich too. They weren't expected to stay up. They've got a manager. That's how they're going to operate. Everyone else, even the team bottom in Southampton, like, it's mental. Like, I don't. Do you know what I don't get? I've got no issues with fans. In a sense, I have no issues with fans going, do you know what? Like, we've had an absolute crap season, but do you know what? I'm just going to care about the Europa League. I have no problems with that. It's not that bit. Do you remember throughout the season? This is a good one. Do you remember it was, but we're only 4 points off top 5. Then it was, we're only 6 points off the top half. We win a couple of games and we're going to fly. Who remembers all those people that said in January, don't worry, the second half of the season, we're going to fly up the table? What? Like, when are people going to wake up? It's nonsense. You can't be this delusional in your thinking. It's crazy.
What I love is, like, for example, like this guy. I don't think people can actually understand that YouTubers can look onto somebody's profile and see every comment they've ever left on your show. Right? I love that. I don't think they know we can do that. And this guy yesterday, his comment to one of my shows was, I can't wait for Savva to unleash his usual negativity. Right? Let this sink in. We are 17th in the Premier League. Right? With 20 defeats, with our worst ever points per game ratio, our worst ever number of Premier League defeats, our worst ever Premier League position, our worst ever Premier League points total, and people still call it negativity. Now, TS, do you know what? I'd love someone like this to come on. Again, no name, no face. You know why these people don't have a name and a face, Perchy? They don't want people to see who is putting these ridiculous motions forward. Now, TS, do you know the beauty about when you say things like this to a YouTuber like me? Mate, check the injuries list and then look at the stats. Okay. It's as though I might already have that ready. Let's go. Here we go. So just to prove how wrong some of these people are, right? Now, this was about 4 games ago, Perchy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it goes to show, for what everyone's saying, if we're really good when we don't have the injuries, then when Maddison, Romero, Adogi, Van der Ven, Porro, all of those players, when they all play, Son, Bentancur, Solanke, then the theory should be that the points per game column, Perchy, should be up when they play, right? If you look at the points per game column, have a look at it. Have a look at some of our better players, so to speak, right? Pedro Porro, when he's played, 1.23.
Yeah.
Mickey Van der Ven, 1.27. Adogi, 1.22. Romero, 1.18. Maddison, 1.13. Kulu, 1.18. I could do this all day. Bentancur, 1.23. Son, 1.21. The notion that the injuries have ruined us. Again, unfortunately, people like this don't actually go and have a look, because
you've proved 2 things in one go there. Because what minute this guy was the guy that said we've got a small squad. I counted 25 players there.
Right.
Sure. So we haven't got. So which is it?
But when you look at this, as I showed you earlier, this shows you that no matter when we have injuries or not, Perchy, through all of this time, it's getting worse. Now, if the theory is when we have the injuries, the theory was when they come back, right? When they come back, we will get better, right? Everyone said it's because of injuries. Those injured players have been back for about 9 or 10 games. We've won 1 in that time. Now, also, look at the beginning of the season, right? If you look at the beginning of the season, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In our first 12 games, we lost 5 Premier League games. So again, when everyone was fit, we still lost 5 of our opening 12 Premier League games. Yeah. When everyone's fit now, look in the last 10, we've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our last 10. Perchy, when everyone's been fit, we have lost 12 league games.
Mad.
These comments don't make sense. They are, TS, we all want success. This is the problem. We all want success, but you're backing a manager that is taking us so far backwards, it's unreal.
I think, and also one of the other things he mentioned in here, I saw it mentioned about going balls in for the Europa League. Right. But these are this is what I don't get with any of these people, right? I don't understand it, because the same people that want us to be in the Champions League, yet we can't even cope in the Europa League. Then, if this is what, hypothetically, me and you don't want it to happen, but hypothetically, let's just say he stays in and wins the Europa League. He stays here because he's won the Europa League. What's the excuses then when we're playing in the Champions League? What's the excuses then? Because surely if that was the narrative, right? Okay, he's committed everything. So why was he playing first team players before a Europa League game? If that was the case, I don't get the narrative. He's gone balls in for the Europa League, fine. Then why were they playing the Sunday before the game? It doesn't make sense. The problem is what these people do, and it's a trend I've noticed. They say buzzwords and buzz lines, and it's easy to say, but there's no actual concrete evidence to factually put it out there. If that's the case, why weren't we playing under 23s in the league before playing a Europa League game? Why did Bentancur play the other day? Why? What? It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
But the thing is, Perchy, these buzzwords that these people come out with, you know, And Johnny, you're absolutely right. We're Spurs fans. Seeing my team lose every other week hurts. Why are these fans not hurt? You know the fans that call us fake and toxic. Why are those fans not hurt at 20 league defeats? Why are they normalizing it? Why do I have people every watch along that come in? I've had this for about 6 months. For 6 months, I've had this. Today's a buy. Today's a free hit. Sorry. Some of these players are on 200 grand a week. Why is it a free hit? Right. But what makes me laugh more than anything, this is what I find ridiculous. Look at all the facts and data I've just shown there.
Yeah.
And I get told you cherry pick. I've just shown 19 months of data, right?
Yeah.
And this, and this, and this, and this, and this. There's no free.
That's a great point, actually.
That much for a ticket, right? All of these people that just sit there and go, this game don't matter. Well, what about the single mum or the single dad, right? That's not got a lot of money, but they've got their 2 kids that they take. I'm just making a scenario.
Yeah,
They've saved up. They're taking their kids to White Hart Lane, and they're paying through the roof. Sorry, is that a free hit? Is that a free hit for the working man and the working woman who spend their life going to Tottenham, right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's not even that. I think this normalization of it doesn't matter, right? And this is the thing, right? Do you know what's funny? You'll like this. You'll like this one. Do you know what's funny? These same people saying it doesn't matter in the league right now will be again hypothetically. Ange's here next season. Will be the same people going, Ange wasn't backed in the summer. Well, how can he be backed with loads of money in the summer when we're finishing 17th? Which is it?
Let me give you a scenario. Right? We're in dangerous territory by normalizing losing.
Yep.
Right? I'll tell you why we're in dangerous territory. And I'm teaching you to suck eggs here. I'm sure you're fully clued up on this. If we're saying losing 20 games doesn't matter because we've had a cup run, does that mean then that every manager that comes into Tottenham Hotspur, we've literally got to sit here and say, don't worry if they lose this week. Don't worry if they lose this week.
Yeah.
We're going to normalize it to the point where every manager is allowed to come in and do a bad job. Now, yes, I understand we could win the Europa League. But for me, beating Alkmaar, Frankfurt and Bodo in the knockout rounds and Karabag, Elfsborg and Ferencvaros in the group stages isn't enough for me to turn around and go, this is the guy to take us forward. And what no Ange fan can ever do, no Ange fan can ever answer this. Why does he not change his tactics? Why does he sit and watch every game? Yesterday, you watched the game, right, Perchy?
Oh, don't. It was horrible.
Right? How many times in that, if I say first half, second half, did you see Munoz with the freedom of White Hart Lane on the right-hand side, right? A coach sees that 2 times in the game and goes, we're being undone here. Right. Jed, because Jed Spencer was playing left back. Jed, drop 10 yards. Jed, drop 10 yards. Drop 10 yards. Help out Jed. This manager,
does nothing.
He doesn't do anything.
Scary.
You're thinking, are you going to change it at half time? Nope. Comes out, exactly the same style, exactly the same way. And guess what? Palace opened us up within what? Was it 2 minutes of the first start, second half?
Oh,
3 minutes?
Immediately. They were chopping. Right. Eze was ripping us apart. He didn't even have to try.
Why can none of those Ange fans ever tell me why he doesn't change, why he's not adapted? Because last year, Perchy, you and I were told on the channel, in his second year, he adapts.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, no! I find it's almost terrifying because no one actually can give me actual reason, and it's at the stage where these people have gone so far down this sort of
the Ange rabbit hole,
the rabbit hole where they're so far in it now that they don't even want to come back and say I went the wrong way here. Like I have no problem if someone went, you know what, like I was wrong. I got it wrong with this guy. And the problem is what happens next is, let's be fair. Next manager, they'll have different standards of this next manager, because if he loses a couple of games, he'll all of a sudden he'll be absolutely the worst thing ever. And this is the difference, right?
What we'll get?
What?
What, you know what we'll get? Anytime the new manager loses a game, it'll be Ange would have won that.
Yeah.
Ange wouldn't have done that after losing 20 games in one season.
That's what it will be. And it will be, the standards will be all of a sudden they'll have the highest standards in the world for the next manager that comes in. And for most of our sakes, we beg, like, please, there's got to be a new manager coming in. Like, do you know what's crazy? You know when it's just sort of diverting on it, but you know when everyone goes, I hear it a lot. I talk to people at work, I talk to like families, I go, who do you want? I have to say, I'll have anyone. I don't care at this point. Like, and a mate of mine went, oh, like, it's going to be hard to get the next manager. And I went, no, it's not. It's actually going to be the easiest decision Daniel Levy and the lot are going to do, because no one can be as bad as this guy. I don't think it's possible to be as bad as this guy. So go and get anyone in. Go and have a look at who's managing in the Championship. Go and get Daniel Farker from Leeds. He can't do any worse than this guy. So I'm not. Once this new guy comes in, I don't even care at this point. I'm just lost. Like, look, as I said, I politely say, and I'm going to swear on your channel, I don't mind it.
Go for it.
Win the cup and fuck off home. That's my mantra. Like, it's win the cup and then fuck off. Like, cool. Take the sort of take all of it. Go away and do your thing where you go, well, look, see, I won in my second season. They got rid of me. Cool. Have all that crap. I don't care. Just don't be our football manager anymore, because it's killing us all. Because let's be fair with it. It's your job, but I can't watch another season of this. I'll be honest, I can't. I know it's your job and you're going to have to. I can't sit through another season watching some of the worst football I've ever seen.
Yeah. By the way, this is not our first final since 2019. I think if you're going to come on and troll, you've got to do better than that, Charlie. I've seen you change your name each show. Let me see what it is. I can find out what it was.
Oh, don't.
I love it when these people do this.
You've got to be clever. YouTubers know what's the game, man. Come on, we're not that stupid.
Oh, I saw this person yesterday, and his name was, God, where was it? Oh, what was his name yesterday? And I'm going to find it in a minute. Right? It's not our first final since 2019. We had a final that Ryan Mason took, didn't he?
Yeah, Ryan Mason, that was 20... That was over lockdown, wasn't it? 21?
21, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, so, it must have been 2020, 21. It was over lockdown.
Yeah, Danny, it's utterly madness, mate. Listen, we will move on from the Ange subject in a minute, but I just find it so baffling, because if the next manager comes in, what are we saying then? That every manager that comes in has got no standards to uphold? And what will happen is all these Ange fans, the moment something goes wrong with a new manager, the moment something goes... Now, don't get me wrong, Perchy. I won't be contradictory. I am a Spurs fan, right?
Yep.
I don't care if your name is Richard Savva and you're the manager. That's me, by the way, anyone. Right? I don't care if I'm the manager. I don't care if Conte's the manager. Pep Guardiola, Klopp, Ancelotti. Yep. I will judge you if you are doing a good or a bad job.
Agreed.
Right? I will judge you. What these people will do is the next manager that comes in, anytime we lose a game, and we will lose games. Everyone loses games. But anytime we lose a game, we are going to have, see, and you wanted Ange out. And I don't understand what happened to this fan base. I know that people will say, we're toxic. We're toxic. Do you know what I get told a lot? And I think people give me way too much credit. I'm just a YouTuber. I have influence over the fan base.
No one makes you laugh.
You mean? I don't have influence over my dogs.
It's like you're the reason we keep losing. That's the one I like.
Yeah, it's because of fans like you. It's because of fans like, it's nothing to do with these crazy tactics. It's nothing to do with the fact that, by the way, I got sent this earlier, right? I think I won't bring it up on screen, but this was quite funny. Someone sent me this, right? Another stat. Someone sent me this. Let me see if I can find it. Where are we? Here. So this is the problem. Someone sent me this and said, below is a Premier League breakdown of how many games we've scored a certain number of goals and what the results have been. And it was really interesting. And basically, I'll read out the stats in a second, but what these stats were showing was that Spurs can't grind out games.
Yeah.
And hasn't instilled a mentality into them, we can grind out games. Now, here we go. Spurs have scored no goals 8 times, right? In all of those games where we've scored 0 goals, this is Premier League. How many points do you reckon we've got? How many draws do you reckon we grind out of those games?
We haven't had any 0-0. We've had one, mate. Or we haven't had any. I didn't think we had any 0-0.
So when we don't score,
yeah,
we can't grind out a 0-0 draw. So we've had 8 games where we've not scored. We've lost all 8. Now, here's the telling stat. We have had 11 games, Perchy, where we have scored once. How many of those 11 games do you think we won?
So how many 1-0 wins have we had? 1 or 2? I don't think of many.
So we have won 1.
Yeah.
Right? Drawn 2.
Oh, it was in 1-alls, okay.
And lost 8 when we have scored 1 goal. So again, when we don't score or only score 1, we can't grind out draws or a 1-0 win. Now, we have scored 2 goals 6 times. So this is what I mean. Everyone in the chat, the reason I do this is when people come to me and say, these are your stats, these are your narratives, I don't know how many different angles I can come at it from with stats to show you how bad we are. Perchy, 6 times we've scored 2 goals. How many wins of those 6 games?
It's terrifying. How many have we won? 2-0 or 2-1? 3, 4?
Once.
Jeez,
when we scored 2 goals, we have won 1, drawn 2, and lost 3. Right?
Jeez.
Now, how many times we have scored 3 goals? Right? 5 times we've scored 3 goals. And we've won 3 and lost 2. So it goes to show, right, that when we score lots of goals in one game, and wait for these stats, these are damning, right? We've scored 4 goals 5 times and won all 5, as you would expect to score 4 goals. And we've scored 5 goals once and we won once. So what this goes to show is Spurs either win big or have absolutely no way of staying in football games. Now listen to this. Listen to this bit. It says here, this shows that we can't grind out results if we score 0 or 1 goal. Even if we score 2 goals in a game, we still lose half the games. We only seem to guarantee a win when we score 4 or more. 40 of the 63 goals we've scored have been scored in 11 of the 36 games. 40. So that means 63% of our goals have been in 31% of the games. So
that's terrifying, actually.
So when all of these people that talk to me about your stats, your nuance, you spin it. I'm looking at goals we score. I'm looking at games we lose. I'm looking at points per game.
Yeah.
It is mad how bad we are.
6 months ago, I was saying this, though. The problem is we have to score at least 3 goals to win games of football. And that's not, fortunately, a stage where that's not consistent enough to win games. And when we've got games that, at the moment, we're not scoring goals, right? We're not scoring to the volume of goals anymore. So you look at it and go, so you're basically saying, unless we score 3 goals in a game, let's use the finals. You're telling me that we could be in the game at 1-0 and go, we statistically aren't going to win it 1-0 or 2-0. That's terrifying. That shouldn't be a case. Like, but I'm not shocked, right? Because this manager doesn't know when to go. Do you know what? What a good example. Brighton's a good example, right? You always fall back to the Brighton one. 2-0 up, you go. Most managers go, job done. Take your foot off the gas, step back a little bit, calm down, make it difficult for them. Don't give them a way back into the game. And you knew, we all knew that the second that first goal went in, is that game's over. We ain't winning this. And I'm just, look, people can pretend it, and it's where no one really has any evidence to prove that this manager is doing anything better. And it's a damning indictment, really, now where we are at the moment. Like, I'm just, look, if people love this manager, then cool. But then I don't want you at the football club. Like, cool, support. If you want to, I don't get it. Don't we? Everyone sits and says about winning stuff, right? I always hear, "Oh, I want us to win. I want us to be the best." So why have a crap manager? Like, listen, and
we're the ones without the winning mentality. That's what I like. We're the ones without.
But it's just back everything. I hear that all the time. Just back the team, right? What does that mean then? So that's like, I'll use another house analogy. That's like having a pipe leak and just back the pipe to sort it out. But it's spewing water all over the kitchen. Nah, just back it. No, you fix it. You fix a problem. And at the moment, Angie's the biggest problem at the football club, because we can divert and move on to something else I think we want to talk about. Was, I'll say it now, I don't think this squad needs massive build to go and turn to something in. I think you could get 3 football players into this team. You can get 3 players into this team, and we will go from here to here, like in a click of a finger.
Do you know what I showed earlier? Right? Again, let's look at this Premier League table, right? Let's look at the Premier League table. By the way, for anyone who cares about the Championship playoffs, Sheffield United are beating Bristol City 2-0, which means they're 5-0 on aggregate with half an hour to go. I think it's pretty safe to say Sheffield United will be at Wembley. And by the way, if anyone cares, when we're talking about letting go of managers, right, to change fortunes, Roma are currently 1-1 with Atalanta. When the manager picked up Roma, do you remember, it was the week they played us? Roma were an absolute mess, right? Roma are currently, they've just conceded, as I've said that. Roma are currently 1 point off Champions League football, right? So just letting that sink in. But they have just gone 2-1 down to Atalanta. So when we look at this Premier League table, I looked earlier on today, and I looked at a team that wasn't mad. I looked at a team that wasn't a Villa. I wasn't a Chelsea or a Man City or a Newcastle. I literally looked at Brentford, Perchy. I looked at their 11 from the weekend, and I brought it up on the screen. I can do it again if anyone needs. And I said, for all the people that keep saying Spurs need a massive overhaul, if I'd said that Brentford's 11 would be our 11 this season, I would have been told I'm a shit fan, negative, don't know football, and that's a crap team. Brentford are sitting 17 points above us, 9 league places above us, right? And they lost their 2 best players in the summer, which was Raya and Ivan Toney.
Yep.
And yet, when you suggest, I'll take Frank, all I hear is, nah, don't want Frank. Well, okay, but look at the job he's doing. Now, that was me measuring it, Perchy, against a decent Premier League team, Brentford, a decent team. This wasn't me going, oh, Villa. But again, I could go above Brentford. Look at Nottingham Forest. This Nottingham Forest squad shouldn't be above us. We're going to be brutally honest. They shouldn't be above us.
Nah, no chance. Because they coach good. They coach well. Like that. It's down to coaching. I've said this all along. This is where the problem is. It's coaching. And as I said, we haven't got a squad that I go, this is awful. I look at it and go, this isn't a great, sensational team that's going to win a league. But we've got a squad, for me, that should be finishing. I said this, and I was in the group chat, and I think I won the argument, that this team should, with the season that we're seeing right now, comfortably finish in the top 4. In the top 5, sorry. Comfortably be in Champions League football this season. And everyone goes, nah, we're not that good. Really? But it's the same people that go, oh, I love every player that we've signed. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up to me. If you coach these players well, we would have flown up the league. Andy, great point, by the way, in the chat. 11 points behind Everton. They sacked their manager and David Moyes came in, click of a finger. Oh, Reece, with a proper coach, Reece, yeah, we would be in the top 5. 100. I put money on it.
Why not? Why not? Hang on, Perchy. Half these fans told us earlier on in the season, right? I'll show what I always show. When I brought this up, and yeah, I've got a few wrong, but when I brought this up early in the season, my prediction, and I talked about Chelsea and Villa, I was told live on stream by hundreds of people in my chat that I'm mad, that Chelsea and Villa, we're better than them. And that leads me to my next subject, Perchy.
Go for it.
That leads me to my next subject. Now, the beautiful thing about YouTube, people, is when people put out videos as creators, unless they delete them, they're always there. The beautiful thing is when you lot comment, whether it's live, whether it's after the show, whether it's in a chat room, unless we delete it, it's there. And I'm not going to name names. I don't want to be that guy. But Perchy and I, over the last sort of 48 hours, just been having a little look at some of these fans, right, that have said things in the last few months like, Ange wasn't backed. Yeah, Ange wasn't backed. Ange hasn't been given the tools. It was the transfer window. Terrible summer and terrible January transfer window, right? This squad shouldn't be finishing in the top half, right? These players aren't good enough. So what we went and did was have a look at a number of Spurs content creators and had a look at what did you actually say at the beginning of the season when you knew what the squad was, right? You knew what the squad was. You knew we had Europe. You knew we had Europe. You knew we were favourites. You knew what the squad was.
And you made predictions.
I'm not going to name names, but Perchy, the worrying thing was how many of these content creators and how many of these people in the chats said third, fourth. The number of them that said we will finish above Arsenal. The number of them that said we were going to be pushing Liverpool. The number of them that completely disregarded Villa and Chelsea and Newcastle.
Man United as well. I mean, they're crap anyway, but you know what I mean?
Are the same people now going on to every show. Right. By the way, these are the same people making videos about why Tell fixes Spurs, why they want to sign Tell, why Danso was brilliant. These are the same people that go on to all the big platforms, Sky Sports, TalkSport, and say, it's been tough, and Levy's got to do better and he's got a backhand. Perchy, it is magnificent seeing the receipts, isn't it? It is amazing seeing how wrong most of these people have been.
And this is the funny thing, right? The same people that were saying all this stuff, it's amazing what narratives can change. And the thing is you're right. I think this is the key thing for me is when everyone in the and the thing is it's funny, right? When you're in the negative camp, if that's what you want to call it, I don't think it's that, but I'll brand it as that for that. You have to be accountable for everything you say. And if you get something wrong, even a score prediction, you get bombarded. You said we'd lose to Man City. Yeah, I expected us to lose to Man City. We didn't. Congrats. That's one. But the same people in the summer, everyone in the summer, it's amazing. Third, fourth. We had some saying we'd be in a title race. The manager said it. Isn't that what's more terrifying? The manager said it. Oh, about what? At the end of not last season. Yeah, it's like, no, end of last season, he goes, I can't see why we're not in a title race next season. Roll on now. It's, we don't know how we can compete with the Europa League and everything. Hang on a minute. He was the manager that also...
You mean this?
This one, yes. Expects to challenge. And now it's, we can't compete on all fronts in the Europa League, blah, 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 right? Hang on. And this is the worry for me. And this is going to be my tin hat moment. This is where this manager has brainwashed our fan base into believing it. It seems like the manager says something and the fan base jump at it. So if the manager says, "Oh, it's been tricky this season because we've had Europa League," it's ironic. It's exactly the same things these fans are saying. "Oh, it's been tricky. We've been in the Europa League." But yet in the summer when he's saying we could be challenged for the league and everyone's predicting thirds, seconds, fourths. Which is it, right?
Do you know what?
It's mental.
Do you know what? I did a big up to Dave Irish Hotspur.
Big up.
He invited me on to be part of one of his videos, right?
Yeah.
And it was about 20 creators who all gave their prediction. And do you know what was funny? I predicted 7th because I truly believe, you know what? I believe we should be finishing 5th. But with this manager, I predicted 7th because I don't trust him. So I got it wildly wrong. But I said on the show, there's no way we're finishing 4th with this manager. There's no way we're challenging for 3rd. And the funny thing was, every comment after Dave released that video, big up Dave. There's nothing about Dave, by the way. Every comment after Dave released that video said, Savva's negative. Savva doesn't know football. Savva's not a real Spurs fan. Now, those very same people still call me negative for wanting the manager out, even though these people were talking about finishing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now,
it's mad, isn't it?
What I don't get is this. Things change. I agree to this sentiment that things change, and new evidence comes to light that things change. However, Perchy, when that transfer window shuts and the season starts, we all have the same information, don't we? We all have the same information. Every Tottenham fan goes, this is our 25-man squad. These are the youth players. Right, make a prediction. By the way, we all know we're in the FA Cup. We all know we're in the League Cup. And we all know what European competition we're in. At that stage, everyone makes these predictions. Yep. Everyone makes their predictions. And at that time, when they make their predictions, they know the squad. Now, it's so funny that 4 or 5 months later, when results haven't gone how they wanted, suddenly, but the midfield's crap. But Thingy's crap. He can't defend. But Solanke, he's not as good. He wasn't wanted by Ange after making videos and statements that Solanke will... I've seen one today where someone said Spurs will finish 4th, challenge Liverpool for 3rd because Solanke is the difference maker. Solanke's got eight Premier League goals, right? Isn't it funny, though, those very same people, 4 or 5 months later, every player's shit. The squad's rubbish. The squad isn't as good as Brentford's, Fulham's, Forest's, Villa's, Chelsea. I just think people need to be held accountable for what they say.
Agreed.
And I'm sick of just YouTubers being held accountable. Right? Look, Sean, dude, I've let you on my show before. If you want to turn up here and say dumbass shit like fair weather fans, dude, you're gonna be blocked.
What does that actually mean, by the way? I hear this a lot. What does a fair weather fan mean? What is the actual point of that? I hear it all the time. What does it mean? We all watch
us diehard fans. Sean,
this is good.
I've called you out before. I'll call you out to your face. Come on right now. I'll call you out to your face again like I did last time when you chatted shit. Die-hard fans. My business is literally Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. If I'm not a die-hard fan of Spurs, what am I? Right? Let's focus on the win. Us die-hard fans will take 17th and a trophy. Sorry, so what you mean is you've got no standards. Is that what you...
Doesn't make sense.
That's what you mean.
Hang on.
Will you come on? You were very funny before. Would you like to come on, please, and explain why me and Perchy are fair weather fans and you're a diehard fan? Perchy, you happy for him to come on?
I have no problem. I want him to. I genuinely love him to explain this. I don't get it. So let's focus on the win. Well, we've won only 11 games out of 34 this season already, and then it's us diehard fans would take 17th and a trophy. What, so you're basically
diehard fans.
Diehard
fans are happy to finish one place above relegation. Really?
I'm trying to work out. So basically, to be a proper fan, you've got to accept losing 20 games in the league that makes you the better fan than me, because I don't accept losing that many games in the league. It's mental.
What?
He wants, come on,
Let's
he's more.
see.
I'd love to hear his opinion
Here
on
we
this.
go. Sean E. Daniel, Sean E.J. Daniel, whatever your name is. There's the link. Come on and tell Perchy and I why we're fair weather fans. I love this. I've supported Tottenham Hotspur for 40 years. The first game I was taken to, I was 2. That's 40 years, right? I don't remember it, but I was taken when I was 2, right? I'm now 42. I have followed Spurs around the world, spending thousands of pounds over the last 40 years. I have a YouTube channel which is about Tottenham Hotspur. I take great offence to people like that then calling me a fair weather fan because I don't like being in 17th in the table. So, Sean, come on, man up. Let's see you. Come on, let's see you.
These people can't departmentalize stuff. I find it fascinating, right?
Agree.
Basically, the whole thing with it all, these people can't departmentalize stuff. I can be happy if we win the Europa League, but absolutely hate the fact that we're 17th in the league and have lost 20 league games. I don't get how that works, right? So it's almost like we can't celebrate the Europa League because we don't like the fact that we're 17th in the league. It's proper mutant behavior, man. Mutant behavior. Like, so we just sit there and accept it. So what? I'm still waiting. What does it? He hasn't put anything in the comments. I can see the chat here. Can someone tell me? Can he? His name was Sean, I think it was. His name was Sean. So Sean, can you tell me why we're not fans or fair? What is a? Can someone tell me what a fair weather fan is? By the way, I still don't know what it means. I hear it a lot. So, is it because we don't accept losing 20 games in the league? Is that what it means? And getting battered everywhere. I'd love that. That's the one I want to know. I want to know what I want to know what a fair weather fan is. I'm asking that question.
I'll tell you why this has come about. I'll tell you why this has come about. Because certain channels call everybody that doesn't worship Ange fair weather fans, right?
Oh, right. I see. I know what you're talking about.
Right. Now, what makes me laugh about this is having standards is now considered fair weather.
Yeah.
Right? I keep hearing as well, people say, Savva, at the start of the season, you said you take 17th in a trophy. Sorry? Sorry, what? Who said they take 17th in a trophy? Right? Right now, we'll take 17th in a trophy because we've got no bloody choice. But never at the beginning of the season would I say I'll take 17th in a trophy. So when you get people like Sean, and I'm going to call him out, this guy's a dick. There you go. I'll call you out, and I'll tell you what.
That's the irony. He's gone. Go on.
Hang on. I'll tell you what. I'll call you a dick now. I'll call you a dick to your face if you come on screen. Sean, you came on before, and I remember this call. You called in and you started telling me about injuries. You were massive on injuries. Massive on injuries. You assured me that when these injuries were back, we'd do well. Since the injuries have been back, has been our worst form of the season. We've won 1 in 10 with all the players back. So I want to see Sean come on. I'm calling them out now. I'm so bored of all these fans that give it the big un in the chat. Put your face to the camera. Come on. Put your face. We did it earlier this morning where Matt gave it the big one that he was going to come on. Didn't see him. Now, Sean E. Daniel, let's bring up his comment again. Where is he?
I'd love Sean to come in because I can rip his fair weather comment in a click of a finger, by the way. Click of a finger. Right?
I love this. Where is he? Sean E. J. Daniel, right? Bearing in mind, this is someone I've let on my channel before, and then he wants to disrespect me and say that I'm a fair weather fan.
Hey, I want him to come on. I want to hear this. This is be good. Because I do you know what's brilliant? One line, and I can destroy his whole persona and ideology.
The guys are
all you have to say is this. Sean, if you're listening, my friend, do you want Timo Werner at the football club? Because if you don't want him at the football club, you're a fair weather fan. If you don't want Timo Werner at the football club, you should just back him. He plays for Tottenham.
Yeah, right.
This is the difference, right? Do you know what it is? Is these people throw this stuff out there. Do you know why they do it? Because they don't agree. They may not agree with an opinion. It's ironic. You're not a fair weather fan if you agree with the same ideology. It's very, very twisted and messed up, man. It's madness.
Where is he? Dude, you came in.
One comment and gone.
You came in, gave it the big one, and then you've run off again. What I love about this, right, is everyone is a Spurs fan, right? There are many people out there who I think their opinions are shit, Perchy.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean I think they're a fair weather fan. I just think their opinions are shit.
Agreed.
I would rather this guy came into the chat and went, your opinions are shit. Fair enough. Right? Cool. But to come in and call people a fair weather fan, I love this. Us diehard fans. What makes you diehard, Sean? Why are you a diehard fan and the rest of us aren't?
Yeah, I don't get what that means.
What does this mean, mate? Where are you? Have you shit your pants? Maybe you should stick to cricket. You should stick to cricket because you're a clown. This is unbelievable.
I'm impressed that someone. I've never known. Look, if you're gonna have the balls to say a comment like that, at least back it up. It's like saying and running scared. It's like, God, this is quite funny. I find it funny.
It's the same fans that say you guys can't celebrate if you win a trophy. Sorry, so we're allowed to support the club for 40 years, but then when we win a trophy, I'm not allowed to celebrate. Based on what?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Do you know what? These fans as well that don't really know our football club, I can tell who doesn't know our football club, right? Because no one, right, in 1999, no one wanted George Graham as the manager of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, right? No one. Guess who celebrated when we won the League Cup under George Graham? Everyone. Everyone celebrated when we won the League Cup. There are managers. I didn't want one day Ramos.
Yeah.
I didn't want one day Ramos. That was one of the best days of my life as a Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to like the manager. These are Perchy, these are grown men.
Yeah,
these are
weird,
grown men saying these things.
It's very odd. It's odd, but
I don't know what this means. Okay.
Spouted not one lie. Said it how it is. This is where I find it. I just find it very silly. Like, listen, now if you're gonna kind of call this nonsense out, like you have to, because the problem is you can say people can have their opinions and stuff, like, cool. Like if you don't agree with what we're saying,
yeah, you're a fair weather fan.
That makes fair weather, huh?
Yeah, no, it's great, isn't it? What I love about this notion is, have you noticed? People always call you negative or a fair weather fan if you don't agree with their opinion. So isn't that like me saying, well, hang on, they don't agree with my opinion. Aren't they fair weather?
It's all a bit silly, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. I don't big man still. I'll be on. I don't know what this Josh Jacobs. I mean, and by the way, Jacobs as a surname wouldn't have an apostrophe in it, would it?
Unless it's Josh Jacobs' comment. I don't know. Very odd.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like, as a surname,
why is the apostrophe there? It doesn't make sense.
Anyone in the chat who's probably a bit more, who's a bit more sort of to do with their grammar. Jacobs wouldn't have an apostrophe if it was someone's surname, would it?
Unless his surname, as I said, is Jacob.
It's not like it's an O'Shaughnessy or O'Neill.
Oh, it's very odd.
Oh, I love it.
It's an account I've not seen before. So, hi, Josh. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that for fun.
Absolutely,
business.
man. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm an English teacher and I have no clue why it's like that. By the way, Sheffield United 3-0 on the night, 6-0 on 6-0 on aggregate. Josh Jacobs, should we get him on for a laugh? That could be funny, couldn't it?
He won't come on.
Josh Jacobs, feel free to come on.
This is fun. I'm up for this. This is like therapy.
But you must have your camera on. You must have your camera on.
Yeah,
But
you
come
have
on,
to have your camera on.
let's see. I bet he doesn't. He won't. He won't. But listen, I just think like it's got to the point where football fans, before the internet, existed, when people went to games and the time you spoke to other Spurs fans was in the pub before the game or on the coach up to a stadium or blah, 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 people disagreed in harmony, right? People disagreed in harmony. So I might be sitting in the pub speaking to someone and they'd say, I'll go back in the day, I really like Stefan Everson. By the way, I did like Stefan. I really like Stefan Everson. I could turn around and go, oh, God, he is not for me. Actually, let's use a better one. George Graham. Oh, I really like George Graham. He's not for me. But but he's done this, that, the other. And you know what, Perchy? You have a normal chat with each other and you disagree.
And you move on and go on.
Now, what the internet has allowed people to do is to just attack everyone and say they disagree. They absolutely disagree. They're toxic. They're the reason. Can you imagine that I'm the reason why Spurs lose? I bet you not one of the Spurs squad or Spurs management team has ever heard of my channel, knows my name, right? Seen my face, but my fault, right? My fault. Then what happens is anybody who agrees with us, we've brainwashed. We've brainwashed them. I've seen it. I've seen text messages from YouTubers who disagree with us, messaging people who we talk to and saying things like, oh, you're better than them. Don't let Savva and Stell poison. Sorry? What? Sorry, these are grown-ups. Listen, let me take somebody in the chat, for example. I'll just pluck anyone out. Ready? Craig. I can sit here. I don't know Craig. I could sit here and go, Craig, you must think this. You must think this. Craig's a grown-ass adult. Craig's going to turn around and go, why must I think that? Craig's either going to agree with me because he agrees with me or disagree with me because he disagrees with me. It's got so nonsensical that it's unreal.
It's become like the thing is what people don't realize is, and people need to realize this, is we are just like, I think people really think this when I hear the terms brainwashing, I find it hilarious. Like my opinion matters. Like, let's be fair with it. Our opinion doesn't matter. The difference is we put our opinion to camera. You guys in the chat put it in comments, blah, blah, blah. And you watch the content between select individuals debating it. Football fans, like every single one of us, there's some people that we go, I agree with you. Like the amount of times I sit there and I agree and disagree with different people. Like, but we don't sit there and go, oh, you're trying to brainwash me. No, it's about having a football debate and moving on with it. And placing information that I think it's madness at the moment.
Do you know the funny thing is though, what I hear, like Stella and I always get grouped in together, right? Perchy, just in the last week, how many times have you seen Stella and I have a massive row in the WhatsApp group because we don't agree on stuff?
Oh, right? Yeah, it's mad.
People go, oh, they just agree with everything. They're toxic. Well, hang on. Stella and I agree on many things. Stella and I massively agree on protesting, disagree on protesting, right? We massively disagree on players like Romero. We massively disagree on X, Y, Z, right? But it's just apparently everybody's in an echo chamber. I'm so confused of the world. I started a YouTube channel to allow people to come on, to allow people to have their say. I think I've always been true to myself, Perchy, that I always go to comments, whether I agree with them, whether I don't. I'm not just picking them out, by the way. Big up, Leo. Hope you're well, buddy. And I always try and do that. And yet there's people that don't like that. There's people that are, I won't debate them. All right, well, if you won't debate me, don't talk about me. Like if you hate what I say that much, and there's loads of them that hate me. If you hate what I say that much, don't talk about me. Don't worry about it.
Isn't it ironic though? Isn't it ironic that the ones that call it an echo chamber are equally the ones that don't debate? Isn't that exactly what an echo chamber is?
Absolutely. This is the problem. This is the problem, right? And I just think that every Spurs fan's got a right to feel how they want. listen, I think the Anjin fans are crazy.
Yeah,
but it's up to them. It's up to them, right? If they want to be Anjin, be Anjin. If you want to be Ange out, be Ange out. But at the end of the day, I can only go by what my eyes and the facts tell me. And my eyes and the facts tell me that we are fucking awful to watch, that we lose a lot of games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what they do is they hold on to little things. So, for example, that Sean E.J. Daniel, who's just run a mile because he's a twat, right? He comes on, and what he said was, like, talked about Bodo. So because I said Bodo Glimt would be a tough away game, based on the facts, based on their record at home in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? It's, these guys are idiots. They said it would be tough. Isn't it funny, though, that whenever they're wrong, they don't admit it. So when a video was made about me because I got it wrong about Man City Spurs, it was fine. But when when these same people in every chat are saying 4-0 today, 5-0 today, 4-0 today, 5-0 today, and then we lose, they never ever take accountability. It's always
the thing is there's currency in positivity, right? There's currency in positivity. Ignore what the nonsense is that there's currency in negativity. It's the other way around. You have to, if you're deemed negative in the negative bracket, you have to explain if something goes wrong. And I'm happy to, by the way, because if I get something wrong that I think that we shouldn't have won, it benefits me because we've done what I didn't think we would do. But it doesn't go the other way around. No one goes, hang on. Oh no, I got that absolutely terrible. We were terrible today. Not move on to the next, but we've had a bad one. But I'll go back to what you said earlier. I have no issues if people want to love Ange. I think it's madness, fine. But do it. Have your opinion and say it. But it's the notion that because someone doesn't agree with you, it's you're this, that, and the other. I don't think you don't get football to a level if you think this manager is great. But that's fine. That's your opinion. We can move from that. I can put evidence down. You don't have to believe the evidence or listen to the evidence. But it's this notion of you're not a real fan if you don't back the manager. I didn't think that ever was a thing. I will be a Tottenham fan before Andrew was, and I'll be one when he's gone. He's a removable object in the sphere of Tottenham.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what makes me laugh about all this. And by the way, if anybody is really feeling really strongly about an opinion that they want to get off their chest or anything, you are welcome to come on and talk to us. Yeah, that is why I set up this channel. So you are welcome. If anyone feels that strongly, let me know in the chat and then I'll let you know, right? But it has to be sensible and it has to be camera on, all that sort of stuff. But Perchy, this is what gets me. The Anjin fans are acting like no manager's ever been sacked before.
Yeah.
Like every manager that's ever been sacked at Tottenham has been sacked for less than what Ange has done.
Mad, isn't it?
You know, hang on. What's this person said? Sorry, what's Chris said? I thought that this was an F-bomb free channel. What changed? I don't have an issue with it. I was wondering. No, listen. I mean, the fuck word we can say every now and then, as long as it's not directed at somebody.
Yeah, it's not the C-bomb's the problem. The C-bomb you don't want to drop.
The C-bomb is the problem. Again, it's all about context of how these things are used.
Normally, it's early on, though, sometimes into your shows.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, you know, as I said, if anyone does really feel strongly that they want to come on and they've got something they want to get off their chest, that is why I set up the channel. I didn't set up this channel so that I'm the only one that talks on it. Like tomorrow I have a call-in show, right? And the number of people who give it large all week, oh, come on, you're a mug, let me on, do this. When the call-in show comes around, I'm like, hello? Sorry, you were washing your hair on that night. Like, it makes you laugh. Big up to Angus. Angus, yeah, listen, mate. Not this, sorry. I saw your comment, what you said about you warned us. Mate, we don't choose the manager. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you might have warned us, but at the end of the day, there's only two people at Tottenham that can sack Angepostecoglou right now, and that is Scott Munn and, more importantly, Daniel Levy.
Yep.
Scott Munn is his guy, right? Ange is his guy. Daniel Levy, I need you back, mate. I need my Daniel Levy back. I need this manager sacked. And if he wins the Europa League, thank you very much. Yeah. Terry O'Shea, I like this question. I'm going to answer it. Right. Can I ask a serious question? Not meant in a rude way. That's all right, Terry. I know you. It's all good. Why do you give a platform to bollocks, comments, and opinions from Ange spectators who clearly just winding you up, don't care about Tottenham? Terry, because otherwise I am exactly what they say I am, which is right? So for me, what I do is I give people the opportunity, right? Now, there are some people who are trolls. They're very, very rude. They start off nicely. Listen, we can spot a troll a mile off. They start off very nice. Blah, blah, blah. How you doing? And then it goes to you're a mug, you're this, and you go, okay, right, blocked. There are other people I think are quite troll-like Matt, who isn't rude. He isn't actually rude to anyone. He's not abusive. He's not rude. Therefore, he's part of the show. And the thing is, if I only brought up the comments, Terry, that I agreed with, now I'm an echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So what I do is give everybody the option, right? And what I think I do is I think I'm quite fair. I bring up comments that I like and go, yeah, absolutely. How many times a show do I do that? Yep, look at this comment. How many times a show do I also go, bang, like this comment, right? Again, just complete nonsense. It's complete nonsense that we wouldn't have been 17th if we didn't have an eye on the Europa League. All the eggs have been in that basket for ages. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people like Jamie that have convinced themselves this is why we're 17th, because Ange said so. The same Ange Perchy that said last year we didn't have enough games. This is what he's done. You know, when you said they just copy what he said.
Yeah.
This is what it's done.
Yeah. Whatever he says that's what becomes. It becomes like it gets repackaged and everyone says the same thing because the manager said it. And this is what no one. Unfortunately, we're in a world, and unfortunately, we are in a world where people can't think for themselves. So it's because Ange just said, "Oh well, but we've struggled to compete on all fronts." So because he said that means it's true. Does it? It's not for me.
Yeah, no, listen completely. And look, yeah, Mark, yeah. Matt said he was going on for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, that was 10 hours ago. Look, I think it's very important, by the way. Now, listen, everyone knows I'm feisty. Everyone knows I'll have the debate. But I will never say no to anyone coming on as long as they hit the rules, right? Now, again, Jamie Green. We've been playing with our second string for weeks. Jamie, it doesn't matter whether we play our second string or not. We lose nearly every game we play. We've won one of our last 10 Premier League games, Jamie, and we have not played the second string in every single game. This is not true. This is not true, Jamie, right? You have to stop this. We have to stop this notion that if our first 11 play, we win most weeks. We don't. Jamie, feel free to come on. Feel free to come on and tell me where I'm wrong. But, Jamie, a season isn't weeks. We're 17th because of how bad we've done over 9 months, not because of how bad we've done over a few weeks. We've got to stop this.
We weren't put. Great point. I was just about to say that we didn't put second string games out when we were losing at the beginning of the season. Like, the irony is his point has weight if all of a sudden we've only started losing games in the lot since the turn of the year. We've been losing games for the last 20 months, like consistently losing games. If I'm right in saying this manager has lost 32 games of football over 2 seasons in the league. 32. That's nearly a whole league. That's nearly half of a league. It's madness.
Let me put some context to it. So, and by the way, actually, I should really do this. Big up to Seals Diamond, who's putting a super stick up. Really appreciate you, my man. Very, very generous as always. And as always, lovely, lovely dog. Thank you very much, Seals Diamond. AJ, thank you very much. I said he should have gone the 11th game of his tenure. Chelsea at home gave us the early insights to his ridiculous approach to Premier League. AJ, I don't disagree with you. I know realistically he was never going to go after 11 games, but that's the game where I went, nah, this guy's crazy.
For that one, didn't we? And we went, this don't look right. This isn't normal.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. So, AJ, I completely agree with you in theory, my man. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate you. Very, very generous. Let me give an example to Jamie Green, right? Jamie, earlier on this season, right, Tottenham Hotspur put out a weakened team against Galatasaray, and I was told that it was a bye. I told it was a free hit because we won the first 3 games of the group. And we had Ipswich on the Sunday, right? We put out a full-strength team versus Ipswich.
Yep.
And lost at home to Ipswich. This notion that we only lose when we put out our second string is not true. We put out a full-strength team to Palace, lost to Palace, right? Look earlier on in the season. Look at the strength of the teams we were putting out. We lost 5 of our first 12 games. This is mad. Now, let's find that, right. Tottenham, what's it on Sofa Score?
But someone made a really good point here. This is and do you know what's brilliant? This is how the revisionism's in there. Ahmed Johnson was a great point. If he was putting all his eggs in the Europa League, why did he play a second string team against Galatasaray? Why did he put Will Lancashire up in front against Galatasaray? So this is how these arguments are nonsense. We were playing in the group stages. If the argument is all roads were in the Europa League, why was Will Lancashire playing up top against Galatasaray? Why was he shuffling the squads against all these other ones? Why was all the youngsters at JE and Mikey Moore coming on against Elfsborg if that was the priority? It's just revisionism. It's not true.
Yeah, we're just saying things now, aren't we? To make
just justify something. It's mad.
Let's have a look. I'll show you this if I can find it. I'm trying to find it. Here you go. So, for example, this was the team that we put out against. This was the team we put out against Ipswich Town when we lost at home. Right? This is just one example. Here we go. Sorry, by the way, Sheffield United have beaten Bristol City 6-0 in the playoffs. Crazy. So here we go. Can everyone see that? I know it's quite small, but that team is Vicario in goal.
Yep.
Porro, Romero, Dragasina, and Adogi. Kulu, Bentancur, Sarr, Johnson, Solanke, Son. That is the 11 that got beaten by Ipswich. Right? Now, let's have a look what 11 got beaten by Palace, which I think was just a few games before. Let's have a look. I love this theory. Right, here we go. This is the 11 that lost to Ipswich, Palace. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Right.
It's literally every player, apart from Mikey Moore.
Porro, Romero, it's the best back. It's the best goalkeeper, the best back 4. Maddison, Kulu, and Basuma. Solanke, Johnson, and only Mikey Moore instead of Son.
Yeah.
That team lost to Palace. Right? That team lost to Palace. We keep doing this. We keep talking about all of these players that apparently when they play, we're amazing. There's 6 points dropped straight away in those 2 games.
Yep.
There's 6 points in those 2 games. And then if we're talking about second string teams, right? Let's have a look at the 11 that played against Villa. Oh, where's it gone?
It's gone a bit.
Come on. Why is it not? Oh, it doesn't like Aston Villa. Doesn't like the lineups there. Let's have a look at the team that played against Brighton. Oh, God, Sofa Score. Come on, you've got to be better than this. Where was it? Brighton?
Yeah, Brighton.
Oh, I don't like Sofa Score's site.
Yeah. It's not the best.
Right, here we go. This is the team that lost to Brighton when we were 2-0 up. Look at it. Again, best back 4, best goalkeeper, best midfield, Johnson, Solanke, this time Werner.
So basically one player, yeah.
This is what I don't get.
How many times? Yeah. I was going to say, go to the Galatasaray game. It's incredible, isn't it? Because that guy in the chat said that he put all his eggs into the Europa League.
But by the way, just quickly, if we could just go here again, this team is more than good enough to be beating Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Gray's at the back. But look, Maddison, Basuma, Sarr, Kulu, Solanke, Johnson, Destiny Adogi. It's madness. Which game did you say, sorry?
No, so if you go back one and go to Galatasaray, look at the squad he played against Galatasaray. And this is, by the way, these guys, the guy in the chat was saying the manager focused everything on the Europa League.
There you go.
He put a new goalkeeper in, right?
Forster.
So Fraser Forster.
Davis, Gray, Bergval, Lancashire.
So which is it? Which is it?
This is the thing. So many of our fans, Perchy, are incapable of finding this information out for themselves. So when they just say things like injuries, right? Okay, cool. We'll go and do your homework. Injuries.
That's the thing.
Great
word, homework.
I tell you what, I want to have a look at the game we lost to Leicester City at home. I think was their only win in 15 games? Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Right, let's find that. Leicester City. Where's that game? Let's have a look how bad the team is. So this is the team that lost to Leicester City, right? Just honestly, I find it hilarious. So this team lost to Leicester City. This is utter. I've got to share my screen again. This is utterly hilarious. So you've already seen the two strong teams that lost to Ipswich and Palace, right?
Yeah.
Ipswich at home. Have a look at this. This team lost to Leicester, who won 1 of 15 games, which is against Spurs. You see it? So Kinski, Porro, Dragosine, Davis, Gray, Bergval, Benton, Sarr, Kulu, Richarlison, Son. Yeah, no Van der Ven and Romero, but look at that. Benton, and Bergval are two of our first choice midfielders. Kulu, Richie, Son. Like, we couldn't beat Leicester City at home.
Yeah, it's crazy, and the problem is it's almost like we're having to explain the obvious now, and that it is the manager and the tactics. And I think the key bit is what I hear, and it's almost like these people are incapable of understanding their own point. What I hear is he's got injuries and we've got other players in, and these players can't play the way he wants to play. You've just answered our point. Then if he knows these players can't play that way, do you know what you do? You change it to go, do you know what? I can't play it with these players. We're going to adapt, that beautiful word that no one likes at Tottenham. Adapt, and now we're going to find a way that we can get a result. What people don't realise is that as a football manager, your job is based on results. And this manager has lost 20 league games. There is no excuse for that fact that Tottenham Hotspur should not be losing 20 games in the league. As I say, we either want to try and become a better football club and be a bigger football club, or we pretend to be Ipswich Town. Which is it? Because at the moment, we're acting like Ipswich Town. We're Ipswich Town with a fancy stadium. That's what we're acting at the moment as a fan base.
Yep. And this is absolutely spot on. A couple of comments I want to bring up, and then we are going to wrap up the show in a minute. Because let's be fair, everything we've talked about tonight, what are we doing here?
What are we doing? Yes,
the Brighton defeat, the game Ange said we didn't deserve anything. Right? Again, when you ask an Ange fan about this, no one can tell you why he said this stuff. But this is good. Big up to my man, Ethan. Big up, Ethan. Lots of time and love for you, my man. Hope you're well. Said it went from being focused on the Premier League, then it was the Carabao, then it's the FA Cup, now it's the Europa. Constantly moving goalposts to back mediocrity.
Bang on.
Perchy, he's bang on, isn't he?
Bang on.
Absolutely bang on.
What about the Brighton one? You know, when we started the show off about the players listen to this. Now, him saying that, as a football player, if you were sitting in the dressing room and your manager's just gone and said on public and just said, well, we didn't deserve it, we weren't good enough. You're sitting there going, hang on a minute. Like, basically, you're just justifying us losing. So why should I work harder? Because there's no accountability. He's allowed lacking accountability. It's crazy.
I just don't get it. Makes you laugh. Again, do you know what's funny, no nonsense football fan? Right? Our best wins this season I can remember were without Van der Ven and Romero.
Yeah.
Am I not wrong?
Yeah, it's true.
Hang on. I'll tell you what. Let's find it. What was it? Who did we beat? Man City. Remember, we beat Man City and everyone lost their minds that this was the turning point. God, we've won so few games. I have to scroll back miles. Right.
Yeah, no nonsense. Yeah, Dragish Davis played at the back too, weren't they?
Let's have a look. So the game against Man City, right? It cracks me up, right? So it was Davis and Dragish in the back two, right? Davis and Dragish. And yet, let's go to the one before. Was it Villa we beat 4? We scored
4-1 Villa.
Right, let's see if I can find that. Where was that? That was much earlier on in the season, wasn't it? Nope, can't find it. Hang on. Hang on. Next, Aston Villa. Because we had that little spate. Yeah, there we go. We beat Villa. Here we go. So Aston Villa. Let's see who played centre-back in that game. Dragish played. Romero did play that game, but Dragish played. So, I don't know. Listen, I am going to leave it there. What I will say is, thanks to Sean E.J. Daniel, who came in, showed himself to be a right dick and then left. Big up to Matty K for the super sticker. Very generous, Matty. I hope your exams went well, my man. Fingers crossed for you. Big up to Phil Coys. Oh, Phil Coys.
Phil Coys.
Oh, Phil Coys. Another one who predicted we would finish 4th and above Arsenal. Oh, dearie me.
He also said Tell was a great signing. So it's all we love a bit of Phil Coys. Phil Coys.
Do you know what I love about Phil Coys? Is
Tell Coys I love it. Please rename it that.
When I debate him, right, he says things like, yeah, but our midfield's all crap and needs to be replaced. The same midfield that he thought would be top 4.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing.
So, accountability. Basuma, Starr, Gray, and Bergvall are so shit. I'm predicting 4th. Our fan base is just brilliant. I love Phil. I do love Phil. And big up to D&B Forever for another super sticker. Really appreciate you, my man. Look, it's all good fun. Guys and girls, I'll be back tomorrow morning. What have I got on tomorrow? I think tomorrow morning, I've got the morning show. There won't be one on Wednesday, but tomorrow morning I've got the morning show. And then in the later in the evening, I'll either have a call-in show or I'll be doing a one-on-one with Sean Butler. That's always controversial. And then tomorrow night, it's Tuesday, isn't it? Which game am I doing tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, I am going to do Sunderland Coventry on the second channel for the playoffs, which should be a good game. 2-1 from the first leg to see who plays Sheffield United in the final. Big up to everyone. Perchy, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. And shamelessly plug, if you want to go and check out my socials, I'll be in Bilbao and there'll be loads and loads of crazy stuff. So check out the TikTok page and check out the YouTube stuff. When I get to Bilbao, there'll be just loads of fun content out there. So get over there as well. Someone wants to whack in the link. Ben's in there. Ben will do it. Lovely. Diamond.
Yeah, Ben, you and your family, Ben, are fair weather fans. How much do you spend a year on season tickets? Just the 10,000.
Yeah.
Just the 10,000. You're such a fair weather fan, man. It's just bad. You know, I've just got a YouTube channel based around Tottenham. So fair weather. Guys, girls, much love to you all. Thank you very much. Take care. Go and cuddle your loved ones. If you don't have anyone to cuddle, ring someone. Tell them you love them. Don't always have to be horrible in life. Take care, everyone. Much love. And as always, Ange out, Levy out, Lang out, Mun out. But come on, you Spurs.
Peace out.